agree with that as we are going into our ban phase. You and I have already done our hard reads before. We don't really need to discuss any further into the ban phases until we actually start seeing some faces. So we have already discussed the Mira ban, the potential Maverick ban, but not likely, some hard breacher, most likely Ace, and almost 100% a Thatcher. We don't really, that just tends to be the general banning list. That seems to be very common, especially on the hands of Phantom Legion, who have banned Hibana before as well. That is our hard breach out of the way, and we'll be seeing what Windstorm ends up banning as well. I'm surprised they went for Hibana and not Ace, personally,
Yeah, that
especially with that
surprises me as
AK-12.
well. Yeah, I think that that's really going to show us a focus on the basement hold because that's where Hibana really shines as the sometimes called a queen of hatches, the best operator opening up as many hatches as possible. And there's that Thatcher that we're really expecting. That makes a lot of sense. And it's going to be a really hard breach focused ban, which is not out of the field at all. Absolutely what we expect. The defense, I think, has a little bit more room for changes, though. So this one will be a little more exciting to see.
And we are going to be seeing a Melusi ban instead of either a Cade or a Valkyrie. We will see what Phantom ends up banning in response. But Melusi is also a very common pick or ban character due to the fact that she can both slow down and also provide a lot of passive intelligence through her gadget. And we're going to be seeing the Mira ban that we see all too often as well. I'm not surprised by any of these bans. I am a little bit surprised that we're keeping the Cade, but they're probably going to end up using the Cade to their advantage instead, because that tends to be what happens for these very common ban operators. There's so many of them that you either play with them or you completely ban them outright, so then the other team can't use them in the first place. And we are starting up our lineup so far with a very general looking attacking side and the defensive side as well, looking very common for a basement hold, which is where we are going to be going to start out for round one of map one.
Very interestingly, with that Kaid on the board, like you mentioned, Bait is actually sticking a Bandit, the sixth pick going to Trist, switching from Goyo to Valkyrie. So they won't have any ability to electrify those hatches, which I think is one of the most important things about the way that this ended up getting set up. The attackers on Windstorm won't have access to Hibana, which is best for dealing with the hatches, but they won't have to contend with any electrification. So not having that Thatcher isn't going to hurt them too much because it will be much easier to deal with this Bandit.
I will argue, especially on the Arsenal hold, the hatch right above B, you can impact trick it. However, we are only seeing Maestro carrying the impact grenades instead of Valkyrie. Valkyrie has taken the C4 brick in lieu of the impact grenades. While you can still blow out that hatch over on A, or much more of that A closet, the B hatch is the one that you need to be much more worried about, and I believe we're seeing Smoke already setting up that impact trick as well, right underneath the counter. It's a cheeky little spot. You can't really shoot down into it, and you can very safely throw impact grenades up into there to prevent any sort of hard breach. And you can't jam a grenade.
Yeah, Bait has caught my attention earlier with this Bandit pick. He spent his prep phase getting all of the hatches reinforced, and looks like the electrification is going to be going up here in Church Wall. That's going to prevent that attack really quickly down main stairs, which may well be important, but Trist is also playing this very, very heavily, although he's going to be droned out right now, causing him to have to fall back a little bit. That drone keeping alive and keeping Windstorm pretty healthy on that drone economy right now.
And I would have to agree with that, Trist. I feel like it's going to be our main roamer outside of potentially Buzz, the stereotypical Jaeger roamer. But I feel like we are going to be seeing a very strong roam game with 2 to 3 roam anchor ratio. We have Giorno holding out Dirt, as you really should be. I don't know how much resistance they are going to be trying to put up into Dirt with Clouds over here just mavericking out that poor hatch and closet. It takes a while, but I guess you can't impact trick it right away. So it ultimately ends up profiting them in the long run.
Yeah, these hatches are getting open pretty quickly here despite not having Hibana, but Windstorm has very quickly cleared out both the second floor and first floor, and they're going to be very safe to pursue down the stairs and look for that opening frag, which getting down to 1 minute and 30 seconds, they're going to be really looking for. It opens up the defense to really allow them to push and find an opportunity for that execute.
And I'm going to have to agree with that. We're going to be seeing Buzz in a bit of a firefight over by Blue Stairs. He doesn't really quite know what to do. He's just holding his ground, trying to find the little pixels that he needs. in order to find a kill to even it out for himself a little bit. We're seeing a very aggressive push from Team Windstorm into blue hallway, and they're holding it, and the Phantom Legion is holding it out quite well. They are also trying to push all the way through. There's quite a bit of resistance, and the first blood of the round is going to be Modelo onto JB. A very unfortunate pick to be killed, I'm going to say, for our Maestro. I hope those cams are in great spots, but I don't know if they will be. And along with that, we are losing the bullet hose. That is the Alda that I believe everyone has mentioned as soon as a Maestro is shown on the board.
Yeah, that's going to be a drop in this anchoring potential here as we get down to the end of this blue push. And there's another kill coming out. Tristan, 2 players. That's going to actually really blunt this attack and throw Windstorm into a bit of a frenzy in order to get in. Benji and Evil Clouds are now on their own against 4 players of Phantom Legion, finally getting a hard breach open onto Church. Benjay is looking for that opportunity to finally get in. The bandit trick is going to come out, though, and he's not going to be able to have that. This is looking pretty dire for Windstorm. They have a little bit of utility left, but Evil Cloud's now left all on his own as Benjay is gone. Getting 1 for his troubles, but Buzz finishes it out with his 416C.
That was a match of very quick, very fast production. It was the usual 20-second meta. We've heard it time and time again, and it is much more prevalent on Clubhouse, when you're just going to try to waste the time of the attacking team until they have no more time to plan, and they just kind of push through, just kind of like a bunch of geese or whatever, and they just can't do anything. They can't do anything with the plans they got. They just ran out of time fully. We are going to be seeing, we're dropping both the Bandit and the Valkyrie, by the looks of it, for a Mute and Wamai, respectively. We're getting
that's
a lot more wall and
interesting.
projectile denial, by the looks of it.
Yeah, it looks like Mute will really be on wall duty for CCTV. No electrification at all, which is really surprising to lose a bandit for. With the Cade still completely out of the question, apparently, for Phantom Legion, which is, I think, still very surprising to see.
Especially in, like, lieu of a Mute. We're taking the Mute instead of the Cade. The Cade fills the same role, or at least the same base role, but we're still keeping that Mute instead of the Cade, which could be easily used to lock down all a garage wall, but they could be looking to hold much more prevalent sites, I'm going to call them, such as the main CCTV wall, or just much more of a garage hold. However, with the pick of a Maverick on Windstorm, the Mute Jammer might be able to get taken down very quickly, because you can't easily just blowtorch out the bottom, shoot out the Mute, and then hard breach, instead of having to look for the Cade Claw, which would be near impossible for our Maverick in question.
With only a Mute Jammer up on that wall, it's only going to be a matter of time before CCTV wall comes down, but Phantom Legion has opted to put more of their resources into that grenade denial. We see both JB and Buzz on grenade denial characters, which is pretty nice, seeing as Windstorm has once again taken 4 grenades on their team. They have a lot to burn it out, though, between Ashe, Sophia, Ace, Maverick, every single operator. Last is Sledge. Every single one of them is ready to take some grenade charges off of those. So we might be seeing some frag grenades getting through, but the early ones are going to be eaten up by that grenade denial.
They're just going to throw everything and the kitchen sink. We're going to be seeing an impact grenade blow off. That wasn't an impact. That was a C4, I believe. No, that was an impact grenade that dealt that much damage to Maverick through a reinforced wall. I guess you can get all of that blast through the small hole. They did not reinforce the wall near Jim, and they have already pushed into top. They are swiftly going over to construction and clearing out any sort of roam that they think might be there. We're going to be seeing a bit of a gunfight over in construction. Benjay narrowly escaping with his life, because his head was in great jeopardy of being popped.
Benji still has all of his hard destruction available, no drones left though, so he's sort of stuck in a position, not totally sure whether he's supporting his teammates or fragging out, since he can't actually drone out for them. But there isn't going to be any more blood. Once again, pretty late in the round with no deaths yet. Just that damage on Evil Clouds. As I say it, Trist is actually going to go down for the count for now as the wall gets opened up and Windstorm gets even more leverage into sight.
Our poor Maestro went down first last round, goes down first again this round. We're seeing Evil Clouds take down Giorno, with Modelo getting down but not out. Slinky following it up against Trist, finishing off our unfortunate Maestro, which is just sad to see the main cam op get taken down first. Hopefully those Maestro cams, again, are still in those great positions, but they don't have any sort of plant denial anymore. They are only depending on what we call the meat drone in the business. Buzz taking down Evil Clouds as well, evening it out to a 4-3, with Benjay trying to find the prime spot to plant the diffuser, getting narrowly shot, but not quite down. I would say that's quite lucky for Benjay as he holds down this angle over in cash, and we're going to see if they're going to try to rotate over into that site. It is a 4-3 Windstorm favor with 30 seconds left on the defuse. 4-2, 4-1 as Modelo and Slinky both find kills, with Bait being our last player standing and Modelo finding his third kill of the round, all the way from CCTV into our main hallway towards the stairs.
I really liked that construction push. It was cautious, not opening up those kills too early. But once the hard breach was done from construction into cash room, there was really nothing stopping that plant going down. A little bit of a risky plant through that soft wall, but with plenty of
Mhm.
time still left on the clock to get it down, there was really no room for that to be risky for Windstorm one bit. That was a very confident plant and post plant scenario for Windstorm all the way through. Really nice to see.
And sometimes you really just got to stick it. Sometimes you got to be a real gambling man about it because that's the best play you can do. And usually it does end up paying off in situations such as that. The wall might not have been reinforced, but they still did not have direct line of sight onto Ben J. So they had a rough idea of where he was, but they wouldn't know 100% when he went down and when the plant would no longer be going. And we are going to be taking a salty run back over onto CCTV and cash room, but we're going to be carrying a castle and a Valkyrie this time instead of our Wamai and our Bandit. How do you feel about these picks?
That's quite a bit of a change. I actually do like Trist switching off of the switching to Valkyrie from Maestro, because with all of those explosives being taken by Windstorm right now, it's not much of a problem to actually take them out. Every single operator on Windstorm's lineup from last round and this round will be able to destroy a Maestro cam without having to call in support from their other teammates. So just hiding them might actually serve to get more intel for Phantom Legion than the two destructible cams, or well, two more easily destructible cams once found will be. And I'm really interested to see JB's castle setup. We're going to see what that does to this roam game, since he seems to have placed them relatively wide off of sight.
I would have to agree with that, but we can also argue that Maestro just might be a bit cursed this game, so Valkyrie might be a better pick. I would also like to discuss we're not seeing the sledge coming up with our Maverick coming up into the CCTV wall, trying to just bash the walls a little bit so they're easier to get through, but we are only going to be going for the mute jammer, and then the job is done. We've already gotten our sight line into CCTV, unless there was a very, very well-timed impact grenade, which we have none of. So I would say the chances of said impact grenade are little to none.
Did you see Benji there just take a single bullet up there from Raptors, playing a little bit of a dangerous game, poking around up there with JB. Unfortunately, he's equipped with only a UMP 45, so he's not going to be able to do too much damage there.
And that is unfortunate to see. A bullet through the shoulder is pretty painful for anyone else. We're going to be seeing a trade coming into from the garage lobby and our main entrance. I guess it's a 4-4. Would that count as a refrag? Do you think?
You're refragging yourself. Well, either
Yeah.
way, Evil Clouds is gonna get JB and take out that man on Rafters, and that's really gonna clear up the whole garage for Windstorm right now. They're only having to deal with one side of the site right now, as the operators are gonna be stuck towards the north on Cash Rim, while B is pretty free to plant once they can get someone in there.
And that is very free to plan if someone tries to run through and deny that plan. Evil Clouds here already has the long angle trained on roughly where a person's head should be if someone decides to run in that direction. But we have Bait checking out all the unreinforced walls and the murder holes that he has made, just being a little bit twitchy, shooting a few shots here and there as we are hitting our last minute. And Benjay is already sticking that plant. We're going to be seeing the brick, and that is not a kill, or at least not a kill for Phantom, but a kill for Windstorm as Slinky takes down Buzz and Bait refrags into Modelo. We're seeing brick number 2 thrown by Giorno, but it's not going to pay off anywhere. Benjay finding a kill onto Bait, and Evil Clouds finding a kill onto Giorno. That cheeky angle that we were talking about earlier, showing off on how powerful that sight line is, because that is the entire site, and we see Giorno just walking out directly into the line of fire of Maverick, who was watching that like a hawk.
Unfortunately, I think Phantom Legion is going to be kicking themselves a little bit for that round. They had two C4s still up on the board. Once the plant goes down, if it's going in default plant location, that is just a position rife for C4 kills. Having the opportunity to get someone down below, which I think Phantom Legion might have been able to rotate someone towards, would have been an easy plant denial, and they just didn't quite have the intel on where people were. We saw two bricks, as you've been calling them, fly right by the diffuser and not quite land a kill. One of them landing some damage on Slinky, but not the kill, very importantly. And with that going down, Jorno just had to make three kills in order to get there, and it was not going to happen with all of those different angles that were just fully locked down by Windstorm.
And it is unfortunate to see a whiff of both of our C4s, but it does end up happening, and I feel like that is much more of a practice thing rather than they didn't know where the plant was. Because they knew roughly where it was at least, because the C4 has a pretty wide kill radius, and we are going to be going to master bedroom gym. We are going to be rotating back over to what most people call the tertiary site of Clubhouse, rather than trying to do the salty run back the third time on CCTV cash room. We are going to be seeing a hold on master bedroom and gym with a setup that is exactly the same as our first round of cash room CCTV with the Wamai mute, etc.
Yeah, once again, I'm pretty surprised not to see Kaid or even the Bandit. Bandit being more effective on these second floor objectives than he would be on the basement by most metrics. But the mute is still going to serve a crucial role in keeping that wall locked down, at least for some amount of time. But Windstorm, despite any of these roster changes from Phantom, which have been quite common, they are still fine to take their bread and butter lineup. Every single operator has quite a lot of utility to bring to the table, and they're quite confident with that. And with only the mute chambers, it's not going to take much time to get this open, it looks like.
And I will have to agree. We already have our Maverick going through the popular mute jammer spot. And we have Benjay already blowing the wall sky high. We're going to be able to very quickly get either a sightline or even a rotate into our main site, or at least the hallway towards gym. We're seeing Myro holding out a master bedroom hold with Trist all the way down in basement, down in blue room, and we're having holds on CCTV, even though I don't think Windstorm is remotely pushing that site. They are going for a very direct method into gym and master bedroom.
Getting that wall open is going to be pretty important for locking down some rotates here. Just narrowly running across, taking quite a big risk, running across that hallway where he knows it's being watched, hoping that smoke is going to do a little bit to distract from his presence. But otherwise, that hallway is going to be pretty much a no-fly zone for the operator playing up there on main stairs now because of Windstorm opening up that wall. And from here, they're going to look to pinch a little closer into the building itself and try and get a lateral angle into sight. That way they can get that plant down, be it in bedroom or gym. Either one is going to be pretty viable from those windows. And there's the
Ooh.
first frag kill coming out for Evil Clouds.
Oh, that was terrifying to see. You see a tiny little asteroid just fly straight into Buzz's nose. And then that asteroid was, in fact, a fragmentation grenade, which ended up killing him outright on main stairs. That is a really safe pick that we just saw coming in from Windstorm. That has made it a 4-5 Windstorm favor, but they do not have that much time. They have enough to formulate a decent plan, but they don't have a lot of time to put it into action as we are hitting that coveted 20-second mark. Modelo trying desperately to find bait and trying to get a good line of sight on him, trying to bait him out, so to speak. Benjay finding a headshot onto Giorno, bait finding a headshot onto Modelo in response. JB finding one onto Slinky. It is now a 3-3. Benjay did not stick the plant, but instead found a kill onto Trist, and bait also going down as we speak. Everyone on Phantom Legion just melting downward as we hit our 20-second mark. Windstorm able to find all the kills that they needed to get through onto site and ultimately take the W, even though our kill cam of the round is our Maverick getting a little bit stuck on the geometry of the holes that him and Benjay had created.
That's 3 rounds in a row for Windstorm on the attack on Clubhouse, and that's going to be a little bit telling, I think. Phantom Legion's definitely on the back foot at this point. They're worrying about this second rotation of their maps. They get to go back to their preferred basement objective, but they're going to have to change something once they get to the second and third objectives because that record right there is not playing in their favor. Windstorm has been managed to take some situations that don't look quite like a winning position for the execute and really turning it into gold there, getting the really important kills on the anchors going in and getting some really clean executes.
And I am personally going to have to concur with that. It is kills that we are seeing that I feel like shouldn't end up happening, but I feel like it is a point of the fundamentals that we talked about earlier. It is just much more of a sake of practice. It's knowing who's what and what's where on Clubhouse. And we do have to keep in mind that Clubhouse was Windstorm's main pick of a map. So they do know, they probably have the most plans for it. They probably practice the most for it. They can easily predict on where the defenders will probably be because they have just done so much work on this map if they did bother with picking it in the first place. And we will see if this kind of pattern keeps up when we head off to map 2, Phantom's map of Oregon.
Here we're going to be looking at probably a very similar push to what we saw quite a bit earlier on round one. This is Phantom's preferred objective on their not on their preferred map, but this is their preferred objective. They did this once before, so Windstorm might have to mix something up, or otherwise they might just be relying on this momentum that they've built up over the course of the last 3 rounds to really just have that confidence to go through and win these gunfights. And right off the bat, I am seeing one thing that's different here. Maverick pushing down through this tunnel, not quite landing in, but Evil Clouds is going to get that open for himself. That's going to give him one of those lateral angles into Armory objective. We're going to make it easy to get that plant down because they're going to have all those crossfires, which they've been very careful to set up.
They had just the tiniest bit of dental floss holding up that reinforced wall. Honestly, he could not quite get the exact pixel that he needed to get it down. We are also going to be seeing a potential impact grenade trick for any sort of hard breach coming in through the hatch on kitchen yet again, but I feel like we might be seeing at least a flank coming in through dirt in the hands of Modelo. We've already fully droned out Modelo, not quite getting the right angles and then getting smoked out by Giorno. Smoke is probably the best person to be using to hold down dirt. There's no extra angles that you can use that you can fully run around to gain advantage against the smoke after he's locked down that corridor, and he is doing it very effectively using 2 of his 3 toxic babes, but ultimately dying after a push that I feel like didn't need to happen on the defensive side.
Yeah, Giorno was knocked out of his shield with all of those Zofia charges just coming down the range his way. Sort of forced in a situation, needing to pull his gun out, but doing quite a bit of work to waste a lot of Windstorm's time here. However, in the end, they are going to end up taking tunnel. This will firm up that direct line of sight that we were talking about previously. And with that, Droney might be able to get a kill here. Modelo been very strong so far as an entry. And with 3 defenders left, this is quite a bit of momentum in Windstorm's direction.
We are seeing 5-2, 5-1 as Myro finds a double kill over in somewhere in the basement. And we're going to be seeing Bait caught out in dining room as we find our first flawless round of the game for Windstorm favor. They have made it a 4-1. They might make it a 5-1 as we reach our halftime match. And we are seeing a lot of excitement coming in for Modelo. I feel like he might have been a bit excited for that. That was full maximum DPI spin to win coming in. But that is a decent thing for how much momentum that they have going on coming into round 6. A 4-1, and we're seeing Trist tease a bit of an Aruni by the looks of it. I feel like Aruni might be it could be a pick. I don't know how well it'll fully end up working out into their favor. But we will see what ends up happening since we primarily were focusing on our dirt hold rather than any sort of other flankage that we might have seen coming in from blue or from main.
Yeah, I do think overall that's a little bit rough to see Phantom Legion lose a whole site to really what is like a side push, a lateral push, a secondary push for sure. Usually you're not going to vote more than 2 players to that on the attack. So losing that wasn't too much of a problem, just to lose Giorno on that smoke. But it really was like flies to the corpse of Giorno.
Moth to a flame, if you will.
Yeah, just kept trying to go and refrag him, get revenge for their teammate. And I mean, up against Modelo, it didn't go very well, especially with Evil Clouds up top shooting through that floor.
And we are going to be seeing the Aruni gate coming in for the hatch, which is very interesting because we didn't see a primary hatch push coming in for Windstorm, whether it was very cleverly impact tricked by Bait over here, or if it was just they didn't decide to push that main hatch, instead going for dirt, a much more, as you have called it, lateral push. And Jorno, I feel like, has learned his lesson. He's going to try to use his toxic babes much more to his advantage, catching a drone on frame one of entry, barely letting it escape out of his clutches and making it able to just pay, getting his revenge from last round against those drones that ever so killed him.
This is getting pretty dangerous for Jorno there, taking some gunfire right off the bat, narrowly avoiding those first two shots from Maverick. He's going to be doing the same job as before, hopefully a little more successfully now. He has seen that Windstorm is willing to be quite aggressive to try and get him, so he's probably going to play a little more conservatively now that his shield is gone, especially. He can put down those smokes and just play really passively. And just slowing that down and taking as much time as he got last round could just prove to do the job as long as his team is able to hold up the rest of this objective for him.
And I would have to agree with that. They can fall back through the Aruni gate to slow them down ever so slightly more. Myro doing some home improvement over in kitchen, trying to catch an angle, maybe trying to find bait to prevent some sort of trick so they can easily push into the hatch. Jorno giving up dirt and just giving it to Modelo, letting him have the advantage, but still slowing him down as safely as he can. I feel like he's playing this in a much smarter manner. He has learned, instead of trying to push forward, to push backward instead, give them a little bit of land, but ultimately still slow them down with all of his toxic babes, because it is the time that ends up mattering in the long run. Whether we'll be seeing some risky picks coming through, we're seeing a small gunfight through that tiny little pixel, the millimeter coming through from Modelo, as we're seeing our last smoke go out from Jorno, and he might just hold that corner with that Mossberg.
At this point, I'm getting a little worried for Windstorm's attack, actually. Without those opening frags that really helped them push through last round, Phantom is still able to just hold up their sights, and there's very little real estate taken inside of the building. Modelo really doing the bulk of the push for his team, and here in a second, that's going to just not be enough. He's not going to be able to plant right here with the attention of the entire defending team on him, and Slinky, Miro, and Evil Clouds are down and out of the fight. Modelo and Bench are the only two left in tunnel. 30 seconds left and quite a lot of resistance there at the end of tunnel. They've got to run to have any chance of getting this diffuser and getting it into sight. This is looking pretty comfortable for Phantom at this point in the match with 5 players left. There's not even enough time to take 5 fights for Windstorm. But for this first one, Modelo is going to get some damage. JB actually going down to Benjay, and maybe we see a little bit of light, but 15 seconds is just not enough. Trish finishing it up with a double. Headshots all around.
Finding another double yet again, allegedly on those main stairs, judging by the corpses as well. We saw Windstorm fall for the same trick twice for our halftime, as we are going to be switching sides. Windstorm on the main defense, but judging by that last attacking round, I feel like Windstorm has been primarily depending on their just momentum coming through from the attacking side, because they didn't get those entry frags and they were unable to find the pushing power that they needed. And along with that, we're seeing a very aggressive looking defensive strategy with both the Vigil and the Legion as well, instead of some sort of cam op in the slightest. We're seeing much more active sorts of intel in the ways of both Legion with his darts and Vigil with his meat drone, swapped out for Mozzie, still more active than Valkyrie, but it's like the happy medium.
Looking at that first half now in retrospect, we see what's not too uncommon on this map, that 4-2 split. But if you'll notice, it's actually kind of gone in reverse. The attackers taking 4 rounds and only 2 going to the defense. Clubhouse is very typically considered a defense-sided map. So this is actually looking really nice for Windstorm. They have a lot more comfortability here on that defense. And they also are going to be starting off with that basement hold. And we'll see how they line up their basement hold with that just direct analogy to Phantom Legion's own.
And I will have to agree with that sentiment, Treasury. We're going to be seeing some hatches reinforced. We're seeing a lot of roam game coming in. If I had to guess, we're going to be having probably our Aruni and Jaeger roaming as per usual. Maybe the Legion roaming if he's feeling a little bit frisky about it, but I think they're going to be trying to use most of their darts on the main ground floor, maybe in the buffer zones on the upstairs, so that they can catch more people as they try to come in, such as through Freezer right here, as JB pushes out through the window over on main stairs. Evil Cloud's noticing that there's a hole coming in. He knows he can't really peek out there, but he might be a gambling man. He might take the risk to try to find a very good headshot 30 seconds into the round, but he's not going to be able to. posting up on the same position that Trist was taken on. And as I say their name, Modelo finds a headshot right onto their cranium in the middle of the forehead, probably. Hopefully, a very clean shot as we are making it a 5-4 coming into our 2-minute mark.
Modelo's got some nice privilege here on that upstairs roam. He's got a drone set up for himself. He's got the intel behind him. He's got 1 kill already, and he's going to be getting searched for here, taking a little bit of damage from that frag, maybe going on cams a little too close to danger. But now he's going to have a lot of ability to sort of counter drone as Jorno drones him back. So it's sort of a tit for tat intel fight over here.
It is a bit of a cold war over in that closet area. And then we're going to be seeing JB getting a bit of a gunfight over on bar with Evil Clouds taking down Giorno. That is a very good pick against our Maverick. JB finding some shots onto Evil Clouds. The bit of the terror of the bar, finding the default cam, able to take it down. Ash rotating back up into main stairs. We have slowed down a bit of our gunfights as we hit our minute 20. Phantom Legion has plenty of time to figure something out. Question is, will they use this time properly, as we're seeing JB yet again in a gunfight of vertical proportions, and Slinky taking a lot of damage and narrowly escaping. He is limping off back into blue and to dining room, as we are going to be seeing him planting down all of those needles because he realizes his days are in fact numbered.
There's less than a minute left at this point, and with not a lot of downstairs push potential, Phantom is going to have to hurry here. They finally got that hard destruction opened up, but they lost a lot of time dealing with Evil Clouds and Modelo on that roam. With another player down, it's going to be a 2v4, and Windstorm is looking pretty comfortable with their defense at this point. Bait and Buzz have to push up through smokes and open up some utility here. It's going to come down to getting that hard breach and soft destruction down and getting a little angle here into sight. There's a kill right off the bat on Benjay, and with Armory opened up quite a bit, they might actually have the potential for this plant going down. Buzz has to take point though with his gun in hand in order for Bait to get that plant down. Very quickly it's evening up, and we're in the 1v1, Modelo and Bait squaring up against each other. Bait does have the diffuser, he is in sight, and Modelo's going to have to work on a bit of a retake.
And Bait is one of those people that knows how to get those cheeky baits, so to speak, as we are going to be seeing a very confident plant, and he is just going to be fully sticking it. And we are going to be seeing Modelo in a bit of a pickle, as we are going to be seeing Bait trying to push in through on a wide blue peak, a very risky peak, playing a bit of musical chairs over here, seeing a bit of bullets flying through over into dining room, but we have Bait stuck with a Legion charge. So he's going to be taking constant damage, but Bait finds the last bullet that he needs onto Modelo.
That was a great clutch there from Bait, really doing all that he could in his situation. His team falling away behind him, very confidently pushing it to sight, taking so many gunfights, and just outplaying Modelo in that 1v1, no matter how drawn out it had to be. He knew that time was on his side, and he had the confidence to get that damage in that first engagement and finally finish it out with just one more bullet that he was needing to win that round.
And I will have to agree with that one. We are going to CCTV, that main site, a bit of our heavy turtle site, as we are going to be going Valkyrie Wamai, and we're picking out our Mozzie for, out of my knowledge, a second Mozzie, but we are going to be seeing Legion instead yet again. I don't know if the Legion ended up paying off massive dividends in the long run for our basement hold, but we're going to be seeing if it ends up working out a lot better for CCTV Cash Room, as we are having both Wamai and Valkyrie diving off headfirst of that balcony to reinforce that garage wall.
Yeah, I'm not sure how long it'll stay up that way. There's nothing to stop that actually being hard breached. It might be a bit of a toll saying, oh, no, never mind. I think it's quite valuable. There's only two arguably hard breachers, Bait on that Ace and Giorno on Maverick. They don't actually have that much hard breaching to spare. They're probably going to be going for a unilateral push, making sure that CCTV wall gets opened, and not really having the ability to deal with much more hard breaching.
And again, we are not seeing the pick of Cade. We have been saying it constantly, time and time again, but the Cade pick is such an easy pick to be doing, but you could also argue that Maverick can take it out just as easily if he just makes a little pinhole, tosses a grenade in there, and then it's just done for in the first place, but it still uses more utility than you really should need to use than what you would get out of a mute instead. Because with the mute, you just need to take it down. You know exactly where it's going to be placed to deny both walls, we're going to just be seeing a very standard looking Maverick trick instead of getting the ace pick through. We're just going to be seeing Maverick taking down the whole wall by himself quickly, quietly, effectively, as we have already opened up CCTV, and Benjay has already reacted with a smoke canister.
It's going to put quite a bit of pressure here on, well, I was going to say Miro playing red stairs, but it looks like he's leaving that off to Medela, who's staying in sight. They're going to be doing their best to make sure that no one's actually going to be able to push in through CCTV wall, but that's going to be an unlikely place to actually push. Oh, that is a
Ooh.
dirty angle there, Trist, using that murder hurl that was already punched out through cash CCTV wall. Right back against the defense. They were not expecting that one bit, and Miro is going to be losing a pretty good gun right off the bat, not going to be able to rotate off towards construction to support his teammates, and that's gonna have quite a bit of effect, I think, in the late game.
We're seeing Modelo plant down a Legion mine through that main hole that we have seen made in CCTV. They only have a minute and a half left for Phantom to try to figure out a push, but we are going to be seeing a very stoic-looking defense. We're going to be seeing a lot of holes, a lot of angles, no one taking much risk at all. An impact grenade coming out from Slinky for some odd reason. I don't know why he would do that when the...
Just gonna add some pressure. Oh my god.
Oh my... Oh no.
Just narrowly landing the head. His impact was to make sure that there's a little bit of extra fear on the sides of those attackers on repel, trying to make sure that Trist has to peel off for a second here and make sure they're not going to get flanked right off the bat. And on the other side, JB and Bay have quite a bit of work to do in order to get into cash room at all in order to meet up with their final teammate. Who is not there anymore.
Oh, we're seeing a double kill coming in from Bait from Garage into Cash Room. They've quickly evened it out. You just said they had a lot of work, but that lot of work was done very quickly. As we are seeing now, it's just Slinky left. We're going to be seeing a lot of gunfire going on. We're going to be seeing a peak, a bit of a wide swing coming through from Slinky. Will he know that Ace is right there? He does know, and he is able to find that triple kill and deny the defuse. All he has to do is play for time, but he doesn't. He goes for a wide peek against JB, but pays the price with lead.
That construction push did just way more work than I could have ever seen coming. Finally rounding it out with that fourth kill between two players. It's almost as if everything else was to distract from that push. That way they could really get the work done for their team.
They really did move a literal mountain, and I would say both JB and Bait look really good in red as they have already taken down 3 to 4 players, just the two of them in that one round. They were able to very quickly push onto site and find that cheeky little defuse right in the corner. Even though we saw Slinky push out and deny that defuse, we have had Phantom even it out, a 4 to 4, even though they're the ones that are attacking, and the defensive side is supposed to be the one where it's sided, and we're seeing a Cade 6 picked into mute from Myro.
I can't help but feel that maybe a K would help with this weird attack sided split. No time has been wasted dealing with any of these walls at all. Honestly, I feel like most of the early game time wasting is coming from smoke players, which usually you kind of see the opposite way. Usually you're going to see those smokes come out in the last 45 seconds in order to really just stop the end of an execute push and just make sure that you're not going to have to deal with anyone from that direction, which I think has been a little bit of a problem. We keep seeing these executes that you'd think don't have nearly enough time to do something, and with no late game gadgets still up to be used against them, they're able to just take gunfights against SMGs on the defense, and I think that's just been enough advantage for the attackers that they've been able to get it pretty consistently at this point.
And I will have to agree with that. We have Giorno going for his usual his usual strategies, gunning down a little bit of garage, hoping that there's not going to be a run out. Trist planting the safety claymore, the claymore of safety. And we are going to be seeing a Maverick trick yet again. The typical, the just usual, this, that, etc. coming in from last round. We're going to be having Giorno punching out the wall with Zafia in the same exact angle. I feel like I'm having a little bit of deja vu from this entry, but that's not necessarily the worst thing. If it ain't broke, why would you even need to think about fixing it, you know?
It is getting a little risky here, making sure that it's totally done. I don't think the top actually ended up getting fully Maverick tricked. He's going to have to go up here on the upside down repel to make sure the job is fully done. Or unless I think Trist maybe just opened up. Maybe I missed that.
I
But
think Triss just did
our
open it.
yeah, our west side push is going just as planned, just like last time. JB is pushed up to this position that he found a lot of success in earlier, and already the east side push is finding a lot of success as well. Modelo going down, and Buzz picking up another one right beside JB, slinking down as well. This is shaping up a lot quicker in favor of Phantom Legion.
I feel like Phantom Legion already knows kind of their base strategy, them being Windstorm, on how to hold us, and we already are down to a 5-1 as we're
Oh
hitting
my
our half round,
god!
and Buzz finds a triple kill coming into Cash Room. He just walked in and shot 3 people. That is just a violence of maximum degree. You just walk in and kill 3 people on Cash Room, and we have Phantom has taken a 180. They were down to a 4-2 split, and they have now split it yet again, 5-4 into their favors. We are hitting our 10th round of the match. Jeez.
That was like the round before on steroids, just running through there. Buzz taking off 4K in the end and picking up that flawless for his team. That's gonna feel really good. Even forcing a timeout here to make sure that Windstorm's gonna be feeling all right going any further into this. They gotta kind of regroup out on the back of 4 rounds in a row for Phantom Legion.
That has got to hurt the good old fashioned morale on the team of Windstorm. Windstorm was having that really good winning streak. They had, I believe, a 4 winning streak as well. And then Phantom has just pulled that mad 180, giving them a bit of a taste of their own medicine. And we are going to be seeing what ends up happening in these last couple of rounds on Clubhouse. I feel like Phantom is going to end up winning the round in the long run, judging by how much momentum they have had in the attacking side, especially since all the momentum from Windstorm was also coming from the attacking side. We're seeing a bit of a 180 or much more of a flip coming in for what side should be having the advantage, with the attacking team just being far more confident than the defensive team and taking the much smarter risks and getting the much bigger rewards from said smarter risks.
Yeah, Phantom Legion has 3 rounds in a row on attack. So 4 rounds total, taking their last defense round. And with 3 in a row, that's all that they're really expecting to get on an attack on Clubhouse. So from here, it's all going to be extra credit for them. If they can get that 4-2 split again, it's going to be feeling really good. And it's actually going to send them to match point if they can get this next one, stringing together that 5th in a row. And that is, just the springboard that they need to push up to map point and push on to map 2, which is actually going to be even more in their favor because the Oregon is going to be their own map choice.
And again, we're seeing the 6th pick of the Cade off into a Rooney. Again, this is just an interesting pick that we are seeing quite often. I don't quite remember if a Rooney has those impact grenades to be able to impact trick those hatches, but we are seeing only our Legion with the impact grenades. I don't know if that will quite take out all of that hatch, as Ace has 3 gadgets, and we also still have the Maverick to contend with. So we are going to be seeing a utilization of our barbed wire onto main stairs, with 4 units of it total, adding up between Aruni and Jaeger.
Rooney here has been a pretty useful pick for both teams on those hatches, especially because those hatches have pretty quickly been opened up for either side and provided quite a bit of leverage. And just stopping that drop potential makes it a lot easier to keep players out of armory. And once attackers get into armory, that's when you know it's end game. That's where they can leverage that plant actually going down, and when they can leverage quite a few kills and actually set up angles in the defender's own objective.
And I would have to concur. We're seeing JB having his general push coming in through, probably going to be destroying this window right here. And my predictions are right. I have the hardest of reads today, Treasury. I know I'm in their mind. I know exactly what they're going to be doing. We're going to be seeing a CCTV push of the Zafia and the Maverick coming in so they could go through and capture all of that top side very quickly, catch any sort of roamers that might be there. JB very carefully making sure that there is no one on that main stairs. Flank Giorno pushing in through garage just as safely and just as quickly as we have seen them do it every time before. They did not reinforce that garage wall, but that's because they don't really need to for a basement hold. Basement hold just kind of holds itself. It's a very self-sufficient point, I feel, because you have to do a lot of work by just putting down all your utilities down.
Yeah, and I like that Phantom Legion is doing their due diligence. They're droning out the second floor very well, making sure that they're not going to have to deal with any flanks up there, but it is going to cost them some time. We're getting to a minute and 45 left in the match, nearing that halftime mark of the round. And that's going to start putting a little bit of a crunch on them. They're finally getting their actual presence down on the first floor. And at this point, there's still a little bit more work to do. Those hatches, of course, are a big concern. This one right here, we're going to see is totally unreinforced, not taking much time at all. But over on the western side, it's going to take a little more time. Modelo is going to go down, though, crossing in an unfavorable position. This is going to actually be a really nice early pick. Modelo has done quite a bit to harass on that roaming, and he's not going to be able to do that anymore. And that's going to open up quite a bit for this blue push.
And I would have to agree with that. We also saw Mayo get really heavily tagged from the same angle, I believe, but we aren't going to be seeing them make that mistake twice. Giorno able to, instead of look at this hatch like the unreinforcement that we saw over in Armory, he just has to spend a little bit extra time as he breaks into the Aruni gate. Buzz takes down Myro. Instead, it is now a 3-5 Phantom favor. And we are going to be seeing Slinky, Evil Clouds, and Benjay being the last three people we have alive. Our smoke probably going to be our most pivotal deciding factor on who ends up winning this round. If those smokes are properly utilized, this can easily be turned into Windstorm's favor, especially since Phantom Legion only has 20 seconds left on the clock. And we are seeing a lot of smokes go out onto blue. We have already used 2 of them. And I do not think that they can really depend on a blue push. Slinky finding a kill onto Buzz as we hit 10 seconds. Jorno finding one on 10. Slinky alive! Oh my god, if Triss just turned around slightly, Slinky would have been raw ground beef. Bait able to take the gamble and plant the defuse. Slinky finding a pistol kill. He has a little bit left, and he finds the final kill that he needs to win the round. As Myro has just said, he is insane, clinically insane. We gotta put that man in an asylum. I swear to Christ. I would say there was a great amount, or at least a small amount of luck in that W. That's not me trying to trash on him. He's still insane and needs to go to an asylum. But if Triss did their job a little bit better and checked the other corner as well, Slinky would not have been able to find that kill that we had just seen and not find that madness, that utter madness that we have just witnessed.
Yeah, I'd say it was a lack of intel. Phantom Legion just didn't know where he was. He was never seen at that late half of the round. He may have been seen a little bit earlier, but by that time there was just not enough time to actually get any intel in sight. It was a blind push into church and into armory from main stairs, and I think that's one of those things where it took too long in the first half of the round, and Phantom Legion really just had to suffer for that because they couldn't account for any of that X factor. And Slinky was the X factor that round.
And I am going to have to agree, but I don't know if it's necessarily a lack of intel, but much more of a lack of just knowing how to clear out or much more of not clearing out the room as properly as you should have. For the record, I wouldn't have expected anyone to be in the corner right next to that door. That's not a corner that most people typically check. Or they maybe quickly checked it, but didn't end up fully checking it, as we are going into our master bedroom gym hold for Windstorm. I feel like they're feeling a lot better. There's probably a few pops off, as the kids have been calling them today. So we're going to be seeing quite a lot of a hold through there. We're going to be seeing our Maverick push most likely through CCTV and or garage, or Bates just going to end up blowing it up in the first place. JB also rotating back up to his usual push into construction room, or at least skipping by it in favor for the wall that I was just thinking that Ace was going to blow up.
It's a little bit of a mixture, but with it being soft, it looks like JB is going to be the most effective operator to do that. He can, without using really any of his resources, open that up and make sure that's going to be nice and accessible. And it looks like they're going for an attack, taking most of the east side just space, taking up all of that flat area, making sure that they're going to have control of that side of the map in order to start pushing in through construction.
I loved what Myro was doing over there in study. He's just holding that C4 ever so patiently, hoping to God that someone ends up breaching through that hatch so he can get the delicious, delicious C4 kill. And I would also like to point out we had 3 C4s on this team on Windstorm, but we have already used two of them. So we are down to Modelo's C4 left standing. And that's not even from them being killed. That's just from them throwing them what feels like might have been a little bit willy-nilly. I don't know if there's anyone particularly pushing, and Mayo's about to pay the price for that because there is that hatch that he was waiting for it to be broken, and the C4 has already been used. He can't throw it out to even try to get a kill through it.
Right now, the defense is looking very active, but a little dense. They're pretty close to each other, so they're a little bit opened up for some intel really wrecking havoc on them. We're gonna see this drop be pretty securely looked at on logistics. It's gonna be hard for the attackers to take that, but almost everyone is essentially an anchor right now. That's allowing Phantom to get quite a bit of space, and they're looking for the execute already. Minute left on the clock for them to do that, and they just need to get a couple picks in objective.
And I would have to agree with that when we're hitting our 45-second mark. Mario finding a bit of an angle into construction and paying the price as we see Giorno find the headshot that he needs to be able to just end Myro's life a little bit unexpectedly. I thought Myro had the full advantage in that one. We're seeing a double feed, triple feed coming in. Two of them Buzz's favor, one for Triss, and Bait finds the last kill onto Windstorm, making another flawless round coming in for Phantom. I believe that is our third flawless round of the game. A lot
Yep.
of very quick pushes, a lot of well executed flanks coming in to make these victories happen as we are hitting our match point Phantom favor. Windstorm can either bring it out into overtime or we are going to be seeing it go into Oregon with a W for Phantom, and that's gotta hurt since Windstorm picked this map.
Yeah, Phantom has quite a bit riding here. They can send themselves through with advantage going into their own map, and they have the odds stacked in their favor right now on attack with a really attack weighted map so far. We've got what 4 and 1 round for Windstorm, 4 on attack and 1 taken on defense only, and
Mm-hmm.
4 attack and 2 defense taken for Phantom Legion as well. That is more than twice as likely to win on attack than on defense for either team. So this is going to be favoring Phantom quite a bit. Windstorm does get CCTV, one of their more preferred objectives, but CCTV hasn't been very effective for defense overall either.
And I would have to agree with that, especially since we are going to be seeing our mute pick as well. They are trying ever so slightly to defend this CCTV wall, but in the hands of a Maverick, that's not going to last. That mute jammer is good as dead already. So I feel like we're going to be able to see our usual push. We're going to be seeing our Maverick trick. We're going to be seeing our Zofia on that same exact corner, holding out the angle over into cash room. And we are just going to be seeing another flanking push coming in through potentially master bedroom or maybe through construction. We'll end up seeing how it ends up playing out. JB is 100% going to be going through hatch into construction, like through study hatch into construction.
Yeah, one of the most important things for the defense here is to take as much time as possible. We've seen Slinky hold up on rafters for a really long time and actually make the round back from behind by playing from up there because the other team has just had to spend too much of their attention on the other side of objective. Already, though, there's going to be some leverage for Phantom, taking Modelo out right off the bat, but losing Trist. I guess that refrag is going to even this up quite a bit. The smoke is gonna actually take some time off of this CCTV hard breach for the first time.
For the first time, throwing his smoke through the hole. We're seeing a prep C4 as well, allegedly for the same purpose. Slinky finding a bit of a hole coming in through garage, but not preventing anything of the sort. We're going to be seeing a lot of eyes going towards our CCTV wall, our main focus of the push, and we're going to end up seeing Slinky also running into construction, trying to hold any sort of push that might be coming through there. JB in opposition to the hardest of 100% accurate reads from me. We're not going to be seeing any sort of construction push as well. We're going to be seeing a different kind of push due to Trist being taken down along with Modelo on that very risky run out that ended out in a maximum trade, I believe. I don't think anyone else was hurt in that altercation.
At this point, this very focused attack from Phantom Legion is getting a little bit blunted by Windstorm without any leverage from the sides. They're a little bit hurting for a way to actually get into the building from this breach. So we're gonna have to rotate a couple operators towards garage in order to get some pressure there. And I don't know if any defenders are still up there either.
And I don't think there are many defenders up there still as well. Now that you mention it, as we were hitting our 1 minute mark, Myro's holding an angle into the garage, able to find some feet, but not able to get a kill because feet ain't heads, as my mother always told me. So we're going
Yeah,
to be
Mom
seeing a
Age
bit of
always
a
says.
whole. My mother always said, feet ain't heads. Don't click on them. But you're going to be seeing Benjay on this hold coming in through Rafters. He's going to be holding from Cash Room, going through a bit of a peak hole into Rafters, seeing another Toxic Babe going out. Slinky finding a kill onto Giorno. It is not looking the best for Phantom as we are hitting our 30-second mark. It is 3-4. Buzz hasn't even stepped in the building yet. Buzz is still holding that angle, making sure that no one else will run out, even though I can guarantee you, buddy, no one is going to be running out through that area. A bit of a smoke going through. Benjay finding a kill onto JB, and then finding a second one onto Bait. Conga lining right into him. Buzz showing off his prowess as well as we are hitting 8 seconds left. He does not have much time to find the kills that he needs to be able to win. And Myro able to even it out and take it to overtime over on Clubhouse, even though Buzz was very quickly and very effectively pushing through into Cash Room as he is caught out rotating between cover.
I wish we could have seen a little bit more time with Buzz actually pushing into sight. He was forced into a situation totally alone, not able to do a whole lot, getting 2 kills, which is really impressive in that situation. But when it's a 1v, was that 4 to start that? I mean, he's just ill fated to start. If he had a little more opportunity, a little more teammates supporting him going in, he's shown us he can do wonders pushing into CCTV and Cash pretty much on his own.
It is just a subject of them fundamentals, and we're going to be seeing an echo pick coming in for Windstorm, much more of going for a plant denial by the looks of it. If they wanted to go full force with this maximum plant denial, they would have also picked a Maestro of some sorts, because you might as well have that triple whammy of the smoke, the echo, and the Maestro for that plant denial. And we are going to be seeing the place where Slinky made miracles happen. Basement, where just apparently something happened. We saw God reach down and be like, you know what, Slinky's gonna win this round, Chief. And then he won that round, Chief.
He said, "Hey, pal, stand in that corner for a second." Well, let's see if Slinky can do it again. I mean, his team did a good job of slowing down Phantom Legion long enough for him to actually have that opportunity and make sure that there's no intel left on him. So I think Phantom was going to be looking at this and saying, we got to do our due diligence and make sure that we know where everyone is before we're able to actually push in.
And I will have to agree with that. I believe Phantom already knows that they're all basements. We're seeing a very standard push. I believe Giorno has not spawned in any area that wasn't ruins. Slinky running around up top at the bar, planting down those little bits of Legos here and there. Those streams of stepping on the Legos really do help on locating where people are, because those hurt a lot to step on, and we're not going to be seeing a lot of impact tricking prep, but we're not going to be seeing a use of impact tricking at all. I don't think we have had any sort of that, even though we've been seeing the prep for it every round, which is very interesting to me.
Well, I mean, at this point with Slinky running out early, showing himself, and now heading back there with both of his impact grenades at the ready, I can imagine that's what he's going for, having now set that up. And unfortunately, his barricade is actually going to bite his team in the butt a little bit. Modelo needing that out of the way stat, as Evil Cloud is actually going to drone him out. He's playing a little bit of attack on defense with his own drones and Echo droning him out. I'm not sure where that first down is coming from, but Trist is not feeling great. Oh, it looks like Miro right below him in that oil trap, just being able to shoot enough of his body to take him down.
And it is always those darn Australians that end up tearing down the walls that you need to be able to defend your site, because Mozzie did just run through that, and we're seeing Trist might go down for the count, unless we're going to be seeing Giorno make it. Giorno's going to make it. He is bleeding profusely on the ground, narrowly making it all the way to Trist. It would have been very unfortunate to see a kill off of that, as we are hitting our minute 20 mark. Buzz slowly but surely walking towards our main stair push. And then we're going to be seeing Buck also playing a bit of our home improvement. Buzz being a little bit twitchy. I've seen him almost shoot his teammates on multiple occasions now. So we are being a little bit twitchy, a little bit careful, and sometimes that's all you need to worry about.
But now it's time to run the gauntlet of those Legos you were talking about. 3 in a row, getting hit by 2, taking out the last one. Now it's time to drone out. That's actually going to be a nice little amount of time wasted here from Buzz. Buzz on that gun is really valuable, so making sure that he's going to have to spend some time pulling those Legion goo mines out is really nice. JB finally getting in here for some extended home improvement, opening up more of the floors. They needed this a bit ago, though. They only have 30 seconds left, and there's no frags on the defense, actually. It's going to be spelling quite a bit of advantage for Windstorm. Evil Clouds is even going to be able to still use his drones pretty effectively to try and go for that plant denial.
Exactly. So even if they do go for that plant, even if they do go for the gamble, we still have Evil Clouds on that Echo. That is their first person they needed to take out in these 10-second squeeze that we're going to be seeing. Modelo taking down JB and Trist. Slinky being taken down by JB. My bad. Modelo taking down Bait and Jorno taking down Benjay. Benjay smoking out Jorno. And Myro taking down Buzz. Jeez. Hey, Treasury, just for question.
Along right there, you got every single kill on that feed, and it's really like a hammer and anvil. Time being the hammer, and that defense just being an absolute anvil. No one was getting through that. Only one player on the defense dying the entire round. They were able to hunker down and avoid those gunfights, playing really safely. I really love to see Medela actually pull off of his. He started moving up main stairs. We saw opening up that barricade, but he pulled off actually to support his teammate Miro in order to make sure that they could try and get that down finished off on Trist. So the two of them went together to make sure that they would be able to refrag anything. And I love that conservative play, especially when you can realize that your opponents are moving slowly. Like if the attack sets a slow round, then you have a lot of free time to use to your advantage and play extra safe. And I love that was a masterclass in playing it safe on defense.
And I would have to agree. And I would also like to ask you, Treasury, do you know the definition of sublimation?
Sublimation.
Sublimation is the act of a solid going into a gas, and I would have to argue we saw Phantom sublimate a little bit on that attacking round. They came in very confidently and were just met with a hellfire of bullets and Legos and just echo drones, and they were just not ready to be able to try to push in through that 20 seconds because our defensive side had all the gadgets still at their disposal. I don't think they even wasted any gadgets until that 20-second mark in the slightest before we head off into our switched round right after we finish our prep phase. Windstorm has pushed through this site multiple times, and it is all in Windstorm's favor, if you ask me, because we have been seeing this being a very attack-sided map with only 4 of our 12 rounds being won on defense.
This is really nice for Windstorm to be looking at. They kind of turned the tables, getting that defense round. They've sort of flipped an unfortunate overtime towards their advantage because of this attacker advantage that we've been seeing so far. There's some aggressive play here from Phantom Legion. We see JB already pushing up on these drones, trying to take out any intel before it can get up to him, as well as Buzz. But they're going to be getting some actual gunfights here really soon, and overextending could be fatal against Windstorm's attackers coming down through blue.
And I am going to also agree with that. Trist is going to find a kill onto Evil Clouds. Evil Clouds being a Maverick pick. We're going to be seeing Trist also going for a very risky attack onto Modelo, not even shooting a gun, just kind of walking in front of him in some sort of scare tactic by the looks of it. But the scare tactic did end up in the death of Trist. Buzz also being very lit off in another gunfight that we have not seen yet, and Benjay blowing up any sort of hatches that he can find, trying to get that massive advantage. Modelo finding a second pick going on to Buzz all the way in dining. I believe that was through a wall. If he just saw him through a bit of a murder hole and it just went through some drywall, that kind of thing happens, and that's just rainbow, baby.
Windstorm's taking a bit of a risk here. They're not droning nearly as fully as they have before. They're going more for a direct attack. It's actually going to pay off in their favor quite a bit. Phantom Legion is not pushing out much. They're not doing too much on the roam game. They're staying pretty centered on the basement objective, but they only have 3 operators left now. The bit of roam that they did have has been taken out pretty quickly. There's a full minute left, and another come out for Windstorm. Medela taking out JB, and Bait and Jorno are on their own. They've got some plant denial on their side, but they're vastly outnumbered, and their locations are known. Their days are probably going to be numbered here, and Windstorm is looking up, but Bait is going to save Jorno, but not for long. Bait left alone in church. He's going to have attackers coming from 3 different directions. They don't know where he is, but going to get him and take the map.
That is a W for Windstorm. It was a bit of a tug of war. It was 180 after 180 after 180, but in the end, Windstorm came out on top with that very well described hard fought victory, with that mad 180 coming in through that defensive victory into the attacking victory on our overtime rounds. I would also like to sympathize with Giorno, and it's the why I said, oh no, in the middle of your thing. He prepped his smoke grenade, he threw his smoke grenade, but right when he threw it, the very millisecond it left the poor boy's hand, it just disintegrated from his Zafia impact grenade that wasn't even being used to deny the smoke grenade. It was just going for the deployable shield that was already there protecting our smoke in question.
Yeah, it was could have been 10 seconds that really made the difference for him. I think we're going to be going to a short break here for just a few minutes, so don't leave. We'll be right back with Windstorm and Phantom Legion battling it out in map number 2 on Oregon. Hello again, everybody, and welcome back for SFCL Week 2. We're coming back with Windstorm and Phantom Legion playing up against each other. Map 1 went over to Windstorm. Phantom Legion is looking to take it back. They need to win on both Oregon and Villa maps 2 and 3 in order to win this one out.
That is a lot of momentum and a lot of ground that Phantom Legion has to cover if they want to get the mad W against Windstorm. And I'm not talking about Windstorm's W, I mean the game W. I mean, you might as well take Windstorm's W and make them Storm, but hey, you know. but we're going to end up seeing what ends up happening on Oregon, or as we have heard it called, Boregon, or as I call it oregano. Just everyone knows what it is. Everyone uses it. Everyone knows the plays. Everyone knows the strats. It's all about dem thick fundamentals that we have been talking about from last round. And we saw a lot of fundamentals coming out from both Windstorm and Phantom Legion. So we're going to end up seeing on who takes the mad win coming in
Yeah,
for
so
Oregon.
here on our oregano map, where Phantom Legion's really going to be hoping to spice it up here. They need this round win, or they need this map win, and it is their map to lose. This is their pick in their map ban process, so this is going to be feeling a lot better for them. They were able to take it to overtime, not quite to a double overtime with Windstorm on Windstorm's choice. So this is going to be, if they could get that close on their first map, choosing their own map probably is going to be that little push that they need to take this out. So I would be expecting Phantom Legion to be quite comfortable with this one. They get to start on defense again, and that's a couple advantages to have. Although maybe attack will end up being the advantageous side this time as well, since it was so heavily weighted in the last map.
We did see that happen. We saw a bit of an opposite scenario with our attacking sides being the most favored rather than our defending side. So I feel like we might see a similar pattern coming in for Oregon, oregano, Boregon, whatever you want to call it. It is a little bit of that spice of life is Oregon. Everyone knows it. But I feel like what's going to end up happening is since Phantom Legion is defending first, you're still getting that advantage of while you're not attacking first, you're not attacking first. So then you can easily get that momentum where if it does end up being an attack sided map, you can get that mad momentum coming in from our second half and just win off of attack sides alone.
Yeah, that momentum proved to be really big last map as well, with both teams sticking out four in a row at one point at least, three in a row on the end for Windstorm as well. So we've been seeing it really just go back and forth between the teams. If that continues, that momentum is going to be so pivotal to winning this, and the side split is also going to be an important point to look at. So keep that in mind once we get to round 7. That'll be
Mm.
a really important point for judging how the rest of the map is going to go once we hit that halfway point.
And that is something that you should consider is that halfway point is where we can decide who will end up winning the round ultimately. We're seeing another ban of Hibana coming in from Windstorm. I feel like after the ban of Hibana, we are going to be seeing very similar bans, if not the same exact bans coming in on
Yeah.
both sides. We're going to be seeing the lack of a ban of a Cade and a lack of a use of the Cade. So that is still something that baffled me, is the fact that we still had the Cade on the board, but we still ended up not using it in favor of the mute instead. And even so, we had the impact tricked all prepped up. And if I am incorrect, correct me on it. But we didn't see any sort of impact tricking featured at all. So I don't think they even really tried to deny that kitchen hatch outside of potentially an Aruni. So they denied a push, but not in open.
With the Hibana ban as well, impact tracking is just less valuable unless you're getting ace charges or thermite charges. And thermite we didn't see once on our last map on Clubhouse. Then it's going to be a little harder to do. Most of the hatches were actually being done by Maverick, who is going to be your second most efficient character opening hatches. So with both the teams being very comfortable playing both Ace and Maverick, I think we're going to be seeing those operators a lot, especially with the Hibana ban. Honestly, at this point, going to be a little surprised if we see Thermite come out, except for specific pushes on second floor and basement objectives. But overall, I think Ace and Maverick are going to be doing all the work we want. The one weird ban we're seeing is Goyo, and we did see quite a bit of use of Goyo, both in pick and that sixth pick, just bluffing before.
Mm-hmm. Goyo seemed to be a very pivotal strategy in, I believe it was the hands of Phantom and Windstorm. It was very featured on both teams, but I feel like it is something that they just decided to ban outright to try to prevent some sort of extra deployable shields or just the area denial that comes from said deployable shields. The ban that we're seeing Goyo replaced is the Malusi, and with the lack of that Malusi ban, we already have JB on the automatic pick of said Malusi, going to be utilizing those gadgets to their fullest potential to deny any sort of pushes, or at least be very well aware of when those pushes do happen as we are going onto our second floor hold. of kids and dorm room on the second floor of Oregon, which is a very constant and common map to be defending on. The pattern typically going dorm room into basement into. I've been seeing a lot of kitchen and meeting room instead of kitchen diner.
Yeah, meeting hall is really in vogue right now. We've been seeing it very commonly as that tertiary objective, and Phantom Legion really wants to get there. They want this three in a row, or at least that two in a row, winning on second floor and basement before they lose any. That way they can get a perfect 3 round rotation before they can go back to second floor. So they're looking to get that opportunity. Windstorm really doesn't want to see that at all, even though it's going to be a slightly easier objective. They want to take some on these harder objectives to take over, and they're wasting no time. Modelo's rushing right in. I assume, yeah, he's got some drone work already being done by his teammates. He knows Big Tower is all safe, so he can really get to it really quickly. And Buzz is going to throw his life away a little bit here, running out on Miro, and Miro's just not having it.
Buzz is a bit gone to the wind, so to speak. He threw himself out of the building. We all got the pings. Even us commentators got those pings that he was in fact outside, and Myro punishes him for that on the Iana, which has also been a very popular pick lately. Iana with that in theory infinite intel and the frag grenades and the second gadget, which might as well also be frag grenades because you're gonna take them. We all know you're gonna take them. She's a bit of a do it all. She's a bit of a DIY operator. You can just kind of do it all yourself and still look fancy while doing it with a very frag heavy looking team as well on our attacking side.
Yeah, it's like having 2.5 Ashes on your team. You got
Oh
Ash, you
no.
got Sophia, and you got Yana. You just got so many of those handheld rocket or grenade launchers. JB here has been droned out. He's lost that charge of that Jaeger that was protecting him to a frag grenade, and the second frag grenade is going to fully destroy it. So it's pretty dangerous there, and there's a little bit of a hole. Going to get him from a dirty little angle by Trophy. And Bait is sort of left here at the back of kids' dormitory. That's a rough spot to be in, especially while the attackers keep collapsing in and taking more and more of his teammates.
And the momentum is already there. The ball is already rolling. Bait can't really do much about it except deny a flawless round for the first round of Oregon. Windstorm already showing that it might be a bit of an attacker-sided map, even though it should be quite the opposite. A bit of a head shake coming in from our kill cam feature. And we're going to end up seeing if it ends up throwing out into the same sort of patterns coming into basement. I feel like we're going to be keeping this very frag heavy thing with our new sitcom trio of 2.5 ashes.
2.5 Ashes. That was honestly disgusting. Did you see there was more than
Yes.
a minute left on the clock? I think
Yes.
at 1 minute and 7 seconds with a flawless round. Phantom Legion was able to offer really no resistance there. Windstorm just storming through, opening up all the hard breach that they want. They used that Ash or that Ace that we were talking about earlier, or that split push on Master Bedroom, opening up that up and getting a really nice kill all the way through that hole he made between attic wall and trophy room, along with a couple players opening up attic and really taking nothing for an answer other than kills from that side of the map.
They were quite a twister coming in through our second floor hold. And what do you do in response of a twister? You go down to the basement. And that is exactly what Phantom has done. We are already into our basement hold. We are going for the second, or much more of the secondary primary hold. And I don't see any sort of preparation coming in for construction, which is something that you see very typical coming through. And as I say that, we have our smoke in question already setting up our primary hold of construction. We're going to be using the smoke grenades along with our deployable shield to waste as much time as humanly possible on that main push through construction, since that tends to be a bit of the meta and what is popular for an Oregon push.
Yeah, it's going to be dangerous to push here, although it looks like we have a pretty separate attack from Windstorm. None of these operators are really pushing two at a time anywhere, except for maybe the front door. There's a lot of droning happening. Oh, there we go. We do have two right on each other with Medela and Miro. They're going to fully drone out down here through Freezer, which I think is going to end up being our primary push, seeing as we got a couple operators right outside the front door, not far away at all. They're going to be able to push down that, get their intel, and open up also maybe into laundry. That's going to be where this push is mainly coming from. Not messing with that bunker at all, especially with all of the reinforcement and utility put down there for a bunker push.
And I believe that Phantom has already fully given up Freezer by the looks of it. Like, we saw the Iana drone go all the way down and not get shot. Seeing an Iana drone live to tell the tale of what they've seen is just very interesting to see. You almost see those things go down frame one. Myro planning to throw a small grenade through. And we're seeing Triss take down Modelo right next to Myro. That is a bad case of PTSD that we have just seen happen. Just instantly happen.
These
Myro.
frag grenades are not coming out nearly soon enough for Miro. Just more things kept coming up. He had the frag grenade cooked, but he couldn't take out a player on pillars until he was gone. Fortunately, that's pushed it out for him to actually take pillars as his own position now. In lieu of anything actually, any of attack really coming down Freezer like we were initially expecting, the big tower push has been very effective. There's a lot of hard breach. Now that hatch is open for Benjay to drop down, and more frag grenades are going to come out, hopefully for the attackers, clearing out this objective for the plant to go down in just a few seconds.
Benji's frag grenade getting taken down by a Jaeger in the very same millisecond that Jorno has thrown out the smoke canister, making it look like that smoke canisters can take down frag grenades, but that is quite the opposite. We are in a bit of a pickle for Windstorm. They are pinned down in their position. They can't really move out, or much more, but they can't really move forward, but they are going to try to back up as we're seeing a bit of a defuser pass coming into our Maverick. So our Maverick is another one of the defuse. Triss going for a very risky wide push,
right
and it's
now.
going to pay off for
Oh
a
my
double
God.
kill for Triss. Big money, no whammy coming in for Triss as they make it a 5-2, a 5-1 as we're hitting our 20-second mark, and Evil Clouds is the last one standing. Evil Clouds standing in construction, a bit dumbstruck on what to do. Doesn't quite know exactly what to do over here as he takes down Buzz. Evil Clouds finding another kill, not quite as Triss narrowly escapes with their life. 8 seconds left on the clock and not able to find any sort of plant, and that is not that surprising in a 4-1 scenario, especially with how risky Triss has been playing it and how much payoff that kind of risky gameplay has had for Triss.
That was amazing. I don't even know if that's that risky. Having that cam intel placed in a nice hidden position that I really haven't seen much of, and obviously Phantom Legion, or sorry, Windstorm wasn't expecting one bit. That storm coming through, that tempest really was blunted by the basement, like you were saying, and especially by Trist with that great hero play running out there, getting a double kill that he knew had the diffuser as well because he saw that diffuser pass. And from that, he knew he could just sit there and watch it and keep control of the game to himself. It's really impressive.
And that is something that you don't see a whole lot. We didn't see Trist go for those big money, no whammy plays at all last round, but I feel like that's where he feels most comfortable in the mad adrenaline of the gamble as we are going back up into kids' dorms and, yeah, no, just kids' dorms, and we're going to be seeing our usual attic reinforcements. But I feel like that Windstorm might realize that they are going to go upstairs, so we might see a very aggressive push in the first place again, with a very quick breach, a very quick holes made, and then potentially done in a minute unless Phantom has already properly prepped. They have figured out on what to do to defend against Windstorm, and they will end up holding out against Windstorm for more than the last round of 2 minutes.
Yeah, this is going to be really important. If they can't win defenses on second floor, that's going to be a lot of rounds going down the drain. Windstorm will happily eat up second floor rounds if they can get them. So it's really going to take a change in this defense from Phantom Legion. I'm not sure what they're looking to set up, and it looks like the lineups are, I think, the same across the board for both teams here.
And that is something that we do have to end up considering. Evil Cloud's already droning out this master bedroom. Modelo pushing into the first floor of Big Tower. Not much advantage that we are going to be seeing coming in through here. We are already seeing a very similar play out, except for Buzz going for that run out. You're not going to see him make that mistake twice in a row. But we are going to be seeing a very similar push with our Maverick and our Zafia going through attic. Trist finding a lot of damage in the form of bullets, also tagging Myro a little bit as Benjay is going to attempt to Maverick trick this wall over here in attic, if not try to just fake bandit trick it. We're getting a lot of holes coming through, but nothing big enough to fit a person. Maybe a bit of an octopus or a brick of C4 if you are unlucky.
There's a little slower of a push up here in attic. Modelo was in the building pretty quickly previously, drone work coming out before the round had even started, and these mute jammers are actually slowing down both attacks. So I think that might not have been there before, or otherwise was taken care of much more quickly by Windstorm on the first round. But Bay has slowed down both sides quite a bit through the use of his gadgets, and the attic push along with the Maverick taking a little bit more time to get this open is also taking a little more time. The round was just about over round one when we got to this point. a minute and 26 on the clock right now, and no frags have come out. So this is probably going to come out quite differently than before.
So Phantom has figured out how to weather out the storm for this push. We're seeing Benjay throwing a little bit of a ring of fire so he can much more comfortably throw the frag grenade so we don't see a bounce back. Myro finding a kill onto Buzz yet again. Second round in a row where Buzz is killed down by Myro in the attic site. Benjay and Modelo have already pushed into attic and are holding down the angles, and they are being a lot more careful about it. They've realized that Phantom has learned how to defend their second floor. Trist hearing the slightest bit of footsteps as Giorno finds a kill onto Myro, allegedly over by the master bedroom area.
This is pretty dangerous over here by Trist. He has gone in behind enemy lines totally unnoticed. He's going to take out Evil Clouds and get Diffuser. He's going to go down himself along with his teammate Benjay. But with Benjay refragged immediately, Modelo and Slinky are in a much rougher situation. There's 3 defenders left and they don't have access to the Diffuser.
And I will have to agree with that as we are hitting our 2-2 and we are hitting our 15-second mark. Bait taking down Modelo, so it's just Slinky left on the clock. Slinky has to find a double kill, but is not able to find it as Giorno locks in with the Icy Mac. We are going to be seeing his second kill of the round, and I feel like Trist has realized that he can just kind of walk around freely, or seemingly freely, because the awareness of Windstorm seems to be so little that we are not seeing him hear any sort of footsteps coming in from Valkyrie. So Trist feels a lot more comfortable taking those hard risks for the hard rewards. So we might be seeing a defensive side of map yet again, which is what Oregon was intended to be.
I think we're seeing a little bit of a lack of roam game on the first round and a little bit the second round that were hurting Phantom Legion. Getting a little bit more confidence in Trist has actually paid off dividends, really turning the tides 2 rounds in a row and giving them to Phantom Legion. Windstorm has lost that momentum, and that's 2 rounds in a row now for Phantom Legion off of a round 1, 2-minute long, less than 2-minute long, flawless round. So this has really turned around very quickly.
The ego of Windstorm could have also drastically shot up, so hopefully we even back out. They are back to trying 100% again. They are going to be holding out our kitchen and dining room instead of the in vogue, as we have been calling it, the kitchen and meeting room. I feel like that this is going to just end up pulling out in their favor anyway, or much more of it's not going to matter in the long run because we are going to be able to switch off into kids and dorms or back down into basement in this round, whether they take this as a W or they just take this as a bit of a buffer round. We will end up figuring it out. Windstorm can easily even it out to a 2-2, but I feel like Phantom might be able to get this round into an advantage of a 3-1 and ultimately a 4-2 for the halftime round.
We've got a little bit of a hint of where those outlines are going to be, and Windstorm is totally pushing on that small tower. There's 5 whole operators over there, really focusing here. They're going to try and clear out this upstairs immediately, making sure that small tower is clear from the top down, and allowing them to actually make that push and try and get into dining room. That's probably where this plane is going to be going down with this kind of push.
Mino breaking down this window over near showers, which is very inconveniently exactly where Buzz was. Buzz able to find the kill. That is just Mino and Buzz, our rivals. They are hard rivals. But Buzz finally found the kill onto Myro instead of the other way around, and that's gotta feel good. That dude has been harassing you for this entire game.
Sure, them have
and
only
now
killed each other.
Exactly. They have only killed each other. They have only seen each other. They have died to everyone else. But honestly, as long as you're better than your rival, do you really need to be better than anyone else? I mean, yeah, but like, come on. Let's be honest.
A nice thing with this dining room pick for Phantom Legion is that Windstorm had no reason to suspect it was coming, since it's a little more of an uncommon pick. They don't have the thermite, which is really effective here. He can open up that wall into dining room from above, which could easily have been done right now if that ace had been switched for a thermite. That's going to take quite a bit more time to get this open more effectively. And with 4 defenders left, that's still a lot to root out. They are going to have to get a hold of bathroom as this first objective, and then with A side not even totally cleared out, they have to keep fighting players in kitchen. That's another player going down to Buzz. He's really having his round now. It's taking a little bit for him to get going, but now that it's going, it's a 5v3 in his advantage. He's gonna go down now, but his team still has that advantage. They've still got that ability to flank around, but a couple kills are gonna come out for Windstorm.
And we are going to be seeing Windstorm having a lot of an advantage coming in through pushing into our dining room. Even though they weren't fully expecting it, I feel like it is a push that they know how to go through. Jorno going to be taken down by Slinky. Slinky over in dining room, and they're going to get the plant stuck down by Modelo. They're going to be able to take the angles that they need to be able to hold it all the way down, while Bait is a bit in a pickle. He is the prey and not the predator this round, as we are hitting a 1-3 Windstorm favor. They will be able to even it out to a 2-2 unless Bait does a bit of magic. Unless we see a lot of magic coming in through with the bullets here. Slinky able to find the final kill onto Bait, even it up to a 2-2, making it fully even for round 4 as we go into round 5.
Slinky and Modelo, they're really just making those gunfights happen for their team. I don't think there's any reason for Phantom Legion to lose that at that point, except just not finding those heads that they needed every single time. And what was a really solid looking defense just fell away behind the guns of Modelo and Slinky.
I I will have to concur with that. We are going to end up seeing some sort of push or some sort of idea that the defensive side will need to end up figuring out on how to prevent pushes such as that. But we are going to be going back to our primary sites of basement, where we saw the first win to help the term that I used earlier, weather the storm. I feel like that's a good way to say on how to figure out how to defend against Windstorm personally, because it utilizes their little name right there. So we're going to end up seeing if Phantom is able to get that 2-round momentum on top of Windstorm yet again, or if Windstorm will be able to find some victory rounds in there.
Yeah, Basement spelled quite a bit of victory for Phantom Legion. It started that 2 in a row, evening it up for them, and I don't think there's a lot of reason for it to go another way unless they're going to lose these gunfights to Windstorm again. But Windstorm is also going to be a little more aware of what they're going to be facing at this Basement push.
And I feel like it is that awareness that is ultimately going to end up in Windstorm's victory, because they do realize by now that Trist is going to go for those big boy plays and the big pushes, trying to find the frags that he needs to clutch out the round, as we're going to be seeing what looks like a very aggressive construction push as we rotate over into Big Tower. I lied to you instead. Benji going to be droning out Big Tower, making sure that there's no hard roamers coming in through here. Checking out the top, checking out the bottom. Gotta make sure, gotta cover your bases, because you never know when there might be a Jaeger up there.
Yeah, that's a really common thing. We have not seen it yet from Phantom Legion. They're playing closer to home quite a bit, except for Triss, who's gonna run out, get a real early kill against Modelo, making sure he can't run the same kills as he did before. That's gonna be a nice boon for Phantom Legion's defense right now. And Windstorm's gonna try and make this up by droning out and getting some presence through the rest of first floor here very quickly in order to ensure some more presence downstairs.
And that is the presence that we ever so need for Phantom, as that has definitely shaken up Windstorm a little bit, because that is one of our ashes down. We are only down to 1.5 ash, if you can do that basic mathematics. So that is quite a lot of both firepower and utility out of the pockets for Windstorm. A bit of drone parkour right there coming in. And we're going to be seeing a gunfight with Slinky as he tries to shoot down someone over in Big Pillar. Slinky going to be rotating back over. I feel like that they need to find a way to get a pincer attack going. They might need to try to push in through Freezer instead. It's something that they can easily drone out and try to figure out if that is a safe option, or much more of if that is an unsafe option, what they need to push through, rather than trying to push through Big Tower and construction. Although we're seeing Mario successfully do that exact idea as he hides in that little alcove in the stairs of Big Tower.
It looks like once again, Benjay has successfully opened up that hatch. He's going to have that upstairs pressure, but Windstorm is still not having a good time finding much more presence inside the building. Benjay is pushing up, taking point for his team, but Miro's also going to go down, not having a lot of luck this round, just like last round. Fortunately for the attack, Tristan won't be able to pull those same shenanigans as before on basement. His cam was found out relatively quickly, but there's still 5 defenders left. They have plenty of potential to flank even without that intel. And it's a little stuck here in E-Box. Still ankles being watched into it. And those Freezer players can rotate even back to try and do more. Slinky's taking a lot of damage from that C4. Evil Cloud's getting a kill to try and even up those numbers just a little bit. Still keeping that -1 man count. And the objectives are quite safe and sound even now. Trist is still going to get a double kill. And with, Benjay Insight gets another one. And it's just going to come down to the
Oh,
gunfights finishing out the round. Bait and JB picking up the last two.
I thought we were going to end up seeing a bit of a clutching around coming in from Benjay, but Benjay not able to find the final hit onto that Maestro, the walking meat slab that is Maestro with an LMG. And you can't honestly beat that, Alda. It is literally just a bullet hose as we are hitting our halftime round. I can easily see it coming into Windstorm favor, or not Windstorm favor, much more of coming into a 3-3 even round, which would be great to see. Although a 4-2 split is very common for Oregon, and Phantom will have that attacking momentum unless Windstorm knows how to defend on this map specifically.
Yeah, Windstorm has what they're looking for optimally. They 2 rounds on attack on Oregon, not bad. 3-3 would be a great position for them to springboard into the second half. Like we were talking about, being a really important point is this next round and round 7 following after this one. So they're not feeling bad at all here. It might look a little an advantage to Phantom, especially if they win here, but it's actually not a bad position for Windstorm, especially considering how commanding those round victories were that they have already.
And I would have to agree with that. We're seeing a very similar hold. The only issue is that we're taking the Aruni instead. They're probably going to try to use the Aruni for a much more blood-based denial rather than a tech-based denial, as we deny one of the reinforced walls into Attic. We're seeing a lot of cheeky camera placement coming in from the hands of Chris. Chris most likely also going to be roaming very heavily again. We're going to be seeing a very similar round with very similar executions. But we also have the Buck instead this round, most likely to get that bottom advantage instead of the Sledge, because using Buck, you can very easily get the advantage, the vertical advantage from the bottom up instead of the bottom, instead of from the top to the bottom.
Looks like the attack is once again coming from small tower. This is going to be a little bit different. We have seen a push that preliminarily went for Freezer, but Windstorm has still yet to dedicate themselves to that side, pushing up those main stairs. We'll see if they mix it up this round and try and keep Phantom Legion on their toes.
Exactly. And we are going to be seeing a bit of a passive run through as Jorno has already taken damage. Trist already going for the very heavy rope, dropping down 2 whole floors directly into the ankles as Trist goes over to the main stairway from basement up into main hallway. So we're going to be seeing if Trist ends up getting a mad kill off of that. A hard, very long angle. Seeing a drone from 2 floors down and going to ultimately get droned out by someone. Slinky in response trying to catch out Triss because he realizes that's the hard roam, and Slinky able to find the kill. That is their primary fragger down, because Triss has been a bit of a thorn in the side of Windstorm with the very wide shots and the very quick peaks and rotates. So I feel like that is a lot of time and a lot of gunfire into Windstorm's pocket. We're going to be seeing Buzz get pincer attacked by both Modelo, and we're also going to be seeing picked out by Meyer.
That was just a bad time to be coming down those stairs for Buzz. That's going to be losing a man for just about nothing there. That was just a bad time to go for any sort of flank, not knowing where the attackers actually were. Jorno here is stuck with his teammate Bait in Kid's dormitory, but he's going to be taken down by the same Modelo. Benjay gets another, and Bait is left alone now, taking shots from multiple angles. Gonna go for one, but Mandela will not go down. He's got Bait, and that's a flawless run for Windstorm yet again.
Another 2-minute flawless round, I'd like to add. We just barely hit that minute mark, and that is another flawless round yet again in Kids and Dorms. It is a 3-3 split as we move on to round 7. On paper, Windstorm should be able to take this into victory because it is a defensive sided map. But in practice, we have been seeing a bit of a tug of war and a bit of an attack-sided map or attack-sided game in the name of Phantom being an attack. I could also see them taking this all the way to the finish line and ultimately taking us to the third map.
Yeah, this 3-3 is definitely in favor of Windstorm by all common metrics. This attack defense split, though, is hard to predict with Phantom Legion and Windstorm, though. It really could go either way. I think most likely, seeing as they really mirror each other on their attacking effectiveness, a 3-3 would not be unlikely. And as close as the last map was, going to overtime is not out of the question one bit. But Windstorm is definitely favored going through here. Phantom Legion's map once again, though, so they do have a bit of advantage here on Oregon.
That is also in theory and on paper, which is why I also made the specification of lately we have been seeing defense sided maps being very attack sided. a lot of defense coming in through that garage, going through the construction hold. That is very common to see. I don't know how we're going to end up utilizing the Aruni gadgets. We're going to be utilizing one over in construction by the looks of it, and if I had to assume one over in freezer. No, we are not going to be seeing one in freezer, but maybe main stairs.
Looks
Yeah,
like
we're
it. I won't be
ooh.
surprised by one on the hatch and E-box either. I know he was over there and Miro did not place it, so it might be going somewhere else. But just slowing down what is most likely going to be a Maverick on that hatch is not bad at all. It's also going to eat up a frag grenade or a drone, which is really nice. Those frag grenades can really wreak havoc from above through that hatch. Definitely a nice reason to bring a Rooney. She's sort of like a third grenade denial operator. Just going to
Mhm.
take more and more of that. And they are running the other two. Evil Clouds on Modelo are on Jaeger and Wamai in reverse order there.
And
And that there's a lot of setup in bunker as well. Not much attack
mhm.
happening from bunker as we saw on Windstorm's attack, but Benjay is prepped for it.
We're seeing Trist, instead of using the metal drones, both of the metal drones at their disposal. They're using the good old-fashioned meat drone, kind of just walking into rooms with all sort of recklessness, with just absolutely no thought whatsoever onto who is on the other side of that, because he is very confident in his gun skill to be able to shoot them down, whiffing a bit of a concussion grenade and placing the safety claymore just in case, hoping to bait out some sort of roam. But Windstorm has already shown that they play a lot safer than Trist does. Trist goes for the big boy gambles and hoping to get those big payoffs. The pick that we are seeing on Phantom that we didn't see on Windstorm is a Nomad, which is very funny because we have a very lighter roam game from Windstorm.
That is quite a bit ironic, but JB has that safety built in along with that claymore placed by Trist. We're at a minute 25. Rounds have been won by this point in this map already. So it's going a little bit slower, especially for having no picks yet. So the defense is fully online with just over a minute left to go. They've got explosives prepped. They've got a lot of resources still to use.
And I would, in fact, have to agree with that. They have so much work to go through as we're hitting our last minute mark. Even if they do try to push through, they still have everything in Windstorm's disposal to deal with. We have one whole C4 coming in from Slinky, and that brick is deadly. You can just throw it at them, and they will end up blowing up. And Myro is going to find the first blood of the round against Giorno. Giorno being a very good pick, as we are going to be seeing the Maverick taken down. We still have our hard breach in the form of Ace up, so he will be able to breach through potentially E-Box over into that main site. Trist pointing out Aruni being that hard roam. Trist trying to find some kills over onto someone in defense. A bit of a gunfight coming on as we are seeing them pinned down over in E-Box. Benjay getting denied by the Aruni. His own Aruni, he denied it by himself, and that is unfortunate to see. Trist finding a kill onto Modelo, and Bait getting taken down by Benjay. Bait also taken down Slinky with a double kill, and Bait taking down the third kill coming in for Evil Clouds. Bait able to find all three of the kills they needed through that ace hole from construction into main site, getting the final kill over into laundry by the looks of it. And that is something that you love to see, and that is something that I have expected to see coming in from Benjay, especially off of last round.
Phantom Legion
Not Benjay.
had a hard time getting leverage into sight, and when they did, they smashed on that lever. They put so much into sight, opening up a bunch of angles simultaneously. Windstorm, they had all the advantage they needed, but with a bunch of players bunched up in just a couple rooms, there was they were just like fish in a barrel at that point. That's not a great place to be against an attacker's execute.
And then what you do when you got a Phantom in the basement, you go all the way up to second floor, baby. You go back up to that kids and dorm rooms, and we're going to be seeing a very stock hold coming through. The only interesting pick that we are seeing out of the usuals is maybe the Ella. We're seeing an Ella pick in lieu of something else, such as the Aruni from last round, which I feel like was very useful for their projectile denial, even if they were ultimately preventing their own projectiles. And we're also not seeing the smoke at all, which is a very risky pick in my opinion.
Yeah, he can add a lot, especially playing mid in between the sites. He can smoke off every avenue for attack: the window, games room, trophy, attic. That's just a really versatile pick. They're going to go with some other options for the area denial. Evil Clouds is going with Ella, and he's going to actually have another shotgun very similar to that smoke pick. going to be definitely playing a tight angle with that shield. I think the second floor is a really nice pick for a Windstorm. Statistically, they're doing much better on this objective. They actually haven't won on basement yet, so Phantom Legion really has chosen the basement while Windstorm is playing best upstairs. I think Windstorm is really going to be avoiding the basement for the rest of this map.
And they might even pick the tertiary rounds in favor of said basement. We'll see how it turns out. Modelo finding the first kill onto Triss. That is a very strong pick to open up the round. That is our primary entry fragger already out and down, while Modelo is only a little bit shot, but that is something that you can easily walk off. Modelo, I have faith in you. Bait is still something that they need to worry about when it comes to just raw fragging power, but in the long run, I feel like they already have this fairly there-sided, not only in the metrics of defense, but also in the fact that they have already taken down Trist.
That hard breach is going to come through though. Bait is successfully opening up master bedroom to closet, and a frag grenade is going to come out taking out Miro. He's got a really nice gun available. Not feeling great taking that frag. Probably had no idea it came. Probably just droned and cooked grenade. And now the attack is actually starting to get some leverage. This is going to be a hard place for JP to push up any further forwards, though. Evil Cloud's playing very close with that Origin FO12 shotgun. I'm sure, well, three Jaeger ADSs right there are going to burn all of those flash grenades, but he swings it totally unnecessary. Easily down by an assault rifle at a range where he just could not compete.
I don't know why he swung out like that. He has all the advantage of the shotgun.
And Benjay,
oh no, Benjay should have honestly, in my opinion, slowly walked up and then just gone for it. He should have just gone for the flank instead of throwing that C4. Because now, while you have scare tactics them a little bit out, you could have gone in an actual kill, Benjay, but you did barely let Giorno get out alive. Giorno's hanging by a thread. But that thread can very easily be severed by one of our primary picks of both Modelo and Slinky. Slinky being our darling from the last round, and Modelo also being a very strong fragger. So we are going to be, they still have a lot of resistance to go through. Slinky finding a kill onto Buzz while Bait tries to plant. JB finding a kill onto Modelo, and Slinky is down. It is just up to Benjay to find the W. He is not able to find a headshot using the Mac 11, and he is just caught in a bit of a rock and a hard place as he is taken down by Bait, and that is something you hate to see. He had all the advantage at first, but they were not able to hold up to the massive push that came in the last 20 seconds.
That was such a good defensive hold, and Phantom Legion seemed helpless up against that. There was so little that they could do to push up, really get any more frags, and just some impatient plays from Windstorm really spelled the loss that round. It feels a little bad, honestly. Evil Clouds losing his life for no real advantage there, and some good shooting on both sides ended up in favor of Phantom Legion, giving them just that little bit of edge they needed, and just one more man is all they needed to win out that 2v1 in the end.
And I do, in fact, concur with that. Now they are going back down into the basement. There's ghosts everywhere in this darn building, apparently. Or much more phantoms in this building everywhere, apparently. They can't get any sort of safety. So they're going to be going for a bit of the salty run back for that bottom floor hold. We're going to be seeing the exact same picks of operators, I believe, except for the Wamai. I don't know if we had the Wamai last time we were in basement, but I feel like that extra little bit of a projectile denial will be very in their favor, and hopefully we do not see any sort of other just wide swings that feel very unnecessary, especially with shotgun.
I'm trying to count how many projectiles are on this attacking lineup, and it is insane. We've got 4 of them on Zofia, 6 on JP's Nomad, 2 more on Bait. Well, we'll exclude his gadgets, and we got 2 with Giorno and 2 more with Buzz. Is that 18, I think, if I didn't miss any of my mental math? Completely disregarding the actual ace gadgets. So this is going to be pretty important to have all 3 of these grenade denial operators, Jaeger, Wamai, and Rooney. They're going to do quite a bit of work, but I don't think it's going to be quite enough to just stop all of this. So it's going to come down to how well both teams place that utility.
I mean, basic math sets out if for some reason they really hate those Rooney gates. That is 3 already down, along with if the Wamai lives all the way until the end. I believe it is the 4 of the Wamais. Plus, we're going to assume only 3 of the Jaegers being used. That is only 10, and they have 8 gadgets left over to be used. That is the whole Zafia. You can fit more, you can fit a whole 2 Zafias through and still have a half one make it all the way. We're going to be seeing
That's
Trish
a nice wall.
blind spraying through Modelo, not quite hitting ahead, but tagging him a little bit. That was a very good guess onto where he might have been, checking everywhere to make sure that there is nothing to be seen, or if there is anything to be seen, it will be purged with great prejudice.
Tristan's getting some sound cues here. He knows he's got someone to contend with. He's not quite sure where. And this is going to get pretty close up here with Modelo. Modelo looking for a couple different operators, not actually knowing that Trist is there. He might show his head at any moment here. But no, those shots are going to be exchanged. Both operators actually moving across the map to re-engage each other after that first initial few shots between the two.
They are star-crossed lovers, and they don't even know it yet. The red string of fate intertwines for them, and they are meant for each other, essentially. Buzz gonna find a bit of a bullet over from the side of Modelo. Modelo trying to take down Buzz. A bit of a gunfight going on, but no one ultimately worse for wear, and he's gonna run into Slinky!
Little did Buzz
Oh.
know Modelo was just the bait to the trap, and Miro's gonna get another one off of JB trying to go in there and refrag for his teammate. That is 2 players off the board. That's actually a lot of projectiles I won't get to make it all the way through, and 5 defenders are still up. Make that one more on that team advantage. Modelo is going down to Trist is going down to Modelo, and Bait is still outside. Jorno is gonna have to make some progress for Bait in order to get in there. With very few drones left for the team, they don't have a lot of intel to work with, and there's a lot to get through utility-wise.
Giorno does have the frag grenades in his disposal, but he's just gonna eat it like a champ. We all know you can walk that off. It doesn't hurt that bad. It doesn't hurt as much as a bullet. Bait's gonna find a headshot onto Slinky. That is a very good pick in the exact right direction they need to be going to somehow win in this 10 seconds. Giorno just gonna run. He's just gonna go for it. Might as well go for the mile. Mile gonna be able to just pull out his pistol and find the final kill onto Bait, winning the round 4 Windstorm and potentially leading into a further snowball as we are 4-5 Phantom Legion favor. That is a very good hold for that basement, and we might be seeing a very similar run coming in for Kids Dorm Room.
Phantom Legion can really do a lot with only a little. Whenever their attack just looks totally blunted, they can just pull it out of somewhere. They can find some way to just keep getting kills all the way through. Maybe not getting all the way through the round, but it's really never over. You can't count them out of any round.
And I would, in fact, have to agree with that one because they do seem to absolutely pull something out of somewhere. Granted, that something is typically Trist, and that somewhere is a very wide peak. And it just ends up paying off in their favor. Buzz has also shown off that he can do a very similar maneuver in both wide and effective, as we are going to be calling it. It is very similar to big and tall, but it is for gunfights, not clothing.
Wide and in charge.
Wide and in charge.
We're headed back upstairs. Windstorm is going to have a little more advantage up here. They have lost previously on their defense here. They're trying to turn it around just like Phantom Legion was able to during their defensive time. Phantom Legion, on the other hand, they want this round. They want to take this on to match point. If they can string 2 in a row here, then they're going to actually win this map and get to head on to map 3 on Villa. Although it's going to be a little difficult. There's only 2 rounds that have been in a row, rounds 2 and 3 for Phantom Legion. They want to get a repeat of that. They want rounds 10 and 11 for themselves. But it's been a really back and forth map so far. Just tit for tat between both teams.
It was also very back and forth for Clubhouse last round, so we might be seeing a very similar thing. And I believe, or I would assume, that we are going to be going back into overtime. And from there, it is anyone's game, because we are going to be seeing Windstorm and Phantom doing a defensive and attack round in that said overtime. So I feel that it really could go into the hands of anyone, and hopefully we do end up seeing this Villa map, because I feel like we will end up seeing who will be the team on top, or who is the better team, because we are no longer on either preferred map. We are on the tertiary map.
Yeah, with how close these maps have been as well, I would love to see this third map and just really get to see them tested to the end of their metal to make sure that we really know who can win this out. We're getting started here with some pretty bread and butter Maverick tricking up here into Attic. Along with this Sophia, that's gonna be a pretty standard way to go for this, and they've made short work of it. Already got Attic fully accessible for the pair of them, along with a front door push as well. That's gonna be a nice pincer attack. Windstorm is going to have to deal with the fight in both directions.
And that is something that you really don't want to try to be dealing with, especially when you are dealing with Phantom. They are throwing everything and the kitchen sink down attic. They are just trying to shove everything into that storage. They are moving out. They no longer need anything, including that kitchen sink. Benjay still having all of his gadgets. He can very easily deny any sort of push coming in from attic, and knows this. He knows that he only needs to hold this really tight angle, so then that way he can just throw a smoke down, and they can't really push without doing a lot of damage to their lungs.
The way that Benji is going to play this is actually going to be really bad. Throwing down
Ooh.
without getting a single smoke off is actually going to be really big. They were really hoping that he could hold this at least at 30 seconds let his smoke go. And while the area is still not safe to push any further into attic, Trist and Jorno have a lot better of a position here. They know there's only going to be a max of one more guy watching this unless the whole team has rotated for it, which they have not. There's a couple operators here, though, looking at it. Slinky as well as Miro taking gunfire at them and from them. This is still gonna be pretty even. Kill coming down, Triss going out for Evil Clouds. Buzz and Jorno both picking up kills as well, and suddenly it doesn't look nearly so even. 4 attackers with Plant going down, Evil Clouds and Slinky the only players. Both of them are gonna pick up a kill here though. And Evil Clouds has a triple kill, 2v1. Buzz needs to make this happen where his teammates failed and he cannot. Slinky another one. Windstorm for round 10.
Slinky getting that round 10 victory, evening it out back to a 5-5 even sight, especially after that wide berth. They were planting in that tight corner, but I don't think they realized that they would push back into attic. And that just was their ultimate downfall. They did not have any people really holding angles in that area. Granted, they didn't have the manpower. We only had 2 people left. And then suddenly it was Buzz back on his lonesome. We are seeing this back and forth tug of war happening mid rounds, not even by the round count, but by just the man count.
Yeah, it's like hero plays almost every round. We get down to the execute, and you can think one team's about to win it. They've got the man count. But any member of either team can just make a hero play at any point in time and just get a double kill that totally reverses the whole round.
Exactly, and it is one of those things that is so exciting to see. We're going to be going back into dining and kitchen, our tertiary round, which I find weird because we have been saying that kitchen and meeting room have been a lot more popular as of late, but we are seeing quite the contrary coming in for both of these teams. We are getting all of the hardest of reads around here over at SFCL, and I feel like we're going to be seeing, or I feel like Phantom's going to be taking a different route than Windstorm did. Windstorm just all kind of pushed through that small tower. I feel like Phantom will try to at least have some sort of flanking maneuver instead of trying to shove everything through one door and everyone getting stuck on each other.
That Nomad will also set them up a little bit more to have a split push to really knock off any of those flanking angles. Although Phantom Legion is once again spawning really heavily on west side by Junkyard, so they're probably going for a pretty similar one as it turns out, but they will have a little more option here with JB setting up this split push for the team. And after seeing someone run out previously and get a kill on this objective, he knows to look for this early and actually set up for it with his air jab.
And that is something you always have to prepare. You'll always have to prepare for when it comes to, I believe it was Buzz versus Myro. Myro killed Buzz. Buzz killed Myro. Both were runouts, I believe. Modelo holding down this angle down in basement, having a hard roaming game coming through. Hopefully it doesn't get caught by any sort of nomad traps. Slinky also in a very similar, if not the same position, and Evil Cloud's taking down and denying that nomad, a use for Maestro that you do not see all that often. You're going to be seeing Zavia taking down Maestro as we speak. Or much more for the Maestro cam. Modelo taking down JB. That is the nomad off the block, and that is a very good block to be taking off.
Ooh, here's an interesting little hole here. If a frag grenade could possibly get down through there for Journo, it could spell the end for Evil Clouds. He still has one Maestro cam left to use. He's quite valuable to his team, especially with that Alda in hand. The hard breach isn't all here yet, but bathroom is the next objective to take. And with those aces going off for the first time, it's gonna give a lot more access to dining room. Evil Clouds, though, with the Alda that I mentioned, gets a double kill, leaving 2 more operators on the attack. He's going to be double tapped, finished off by Jorno in revenge for taking out his teammates. But Jorno is all alone left in that building, and Bait is just holding this angle for no players left to help.
Bait just seems to be the one that holds all the angles and makes sure that the players get in safe, but is a little bit too caring about it. Like the parent that's a little bit too overprotective. They aren't moving in time to be able to help support the teammates where they are. They're supporting where the teammates once were, and he's got to move on. He's got to figure out on where to push in with the rest of his team. Giorno and Bait have a lot of a hill to climb. It is a 4-2 with both Slinky and Modelo still on the line, and we still have our Echo and our Smoke. Myro finding a kill into Giorno. Bait still watching the same window. Bait's still just rotating back and forth from window to window. He has no choice to push through. He sees Modelo, but Modelo also sees him, and he just cannot find the kill. Windstorm has got the momentum for a W, but they can still take it to an overtime run. Oh my god.
Wow.
What was that flick?
Modelo opened up and closed up that round, no questions asked. Just a really dominant round from Windstorm on their tertiary objective, and they get to stay on defense. This has ended up being a more defense-sided map overall. That's 3 for the defense in a row for Windstorm. They really do have the momentum that you just mentioned. They've got this match point in their hands. This is actually the entire match point right now. If they win this round, they can get out of here without having to spend any more time in the same room as Phantom Legion.
And I will have to agree with you on that one. We're going to be seeing a Legion instead of an Aruni. So we're going to be seeing a lot less projectile denial and much more of people denial in the forms of what we have been calling in the past Dem Legos. They are very loud, they are very painful, and they are going to slow you down. And they are ultimately going to end up revealing the locations of everyone, which is going to be very beneficial to both Slinky and Modelo. Modelo being on our Melusi as well, going to also be slowing them down. A lot of projectile denial still in the hands of both Wamai and Jaeger, and people denial in the forms of Smoke, Melusi, and Legion on our defensive side. And we're seeing the same exact attacking lineup for Phantom Legion.
This basement objective has not treated Windstorm really well, though. This is not the objective they want to be on for this match point. It's statistically much more in favor of Phantom Legion. They've won 3 rounds here while Windstorm has only gotten 1. However, they did get that first defense that they spent on, or the second defense that they spent on it, excuse me. So this is what started their actual streak here of 3 in a round. If they can close this out with a 4th in a row, just picking it up like they lay it down a few rounds ago, that's what they need right now. But again, the odds are a little bit stacked against them on this objective.
And that is something that you do in fact have to consider. Myro already having this heavy roam into kids' dorm room instead of in the basement. We're going to be seeing a very aggressive construct push coming in from Bait and Giorno, the tag team duo that we are here to expect. JB juking it out, dodging these bullets like a little drone, and Neo by the looks of it. And Triss running, just sprinting down main stairs. They have already pushed into basement, and they do not have much time to defend. Modelo already on site as well. They're going for a very laissez-faire strategy. Benjay going to try to get a cheeky little smoke over here, mixing it in with the actual smoke. Trist getting taken down along with Buzz. Modelo finds a 1 kill onto Buzz, and Trist is down him for the count. And you can't revive yourself with Zafia anymore. They took that out of the game. Myro finding a kill onto JB as well. It's already into the advantage of Windstorm. It is a 5-1. Windstorm taking a flawless round for the final defensive round of Oregon, which was Phantom's pick, and ultimately winning the entire set into their favor, going against almost all of SFCL's predictions and supporting me in my predictions.
Well, you've been full of big brain plays today. Called everything. I should have known from the start that you'd have this